Welcome into another edition of Cougar Insider, your weekly inside look at the Columbus State athletic programs. I'm your host, Stephen Williams, and this week we'll spend time on the volleyball court and the soccer pitch as we catch up with how the Lady Cougars are doing. Let's open the week up with a look at Columbus State volleyball. Columbus State volleyball had its most successful road trip of the season last weekend as they traveled to USC Aiken and Lander. The Lady Cougars opened up Friday night by defeating USC Aiken on its home floor in 5 sets, handing the Pacers just their second loss in conference play. Saturday, CSU found itself in another 5-set struggle, this time taking down Lander 3-2. Katie Poole set a new record for CSU for kills in a match with 28. The wins improved the Lady Cougars to 4-1 on the road inside Peach Belt Conference action. It was a little easier Wednesday night as the Lady Cougars cruised to a quick 3-set win at home over Fort Valley State, marking the 3rd time this season CSU has defeated the Lady Wildcats. We sat down this week with head coach Casey Cornett. Lady Cougar head coach Casey Cornett with us. Coach, you come off arguably your most successful road trip of the season. You go 2 Peach Belt Conference opponents. USC Aiken only had 1 conference loss before you went on there on Friday night. Let's start there. What was it that made your girls so successful on Friday night?
Yeah, we still didn't make it necessarily easy on us about, both of them being 5 sets. But I think something that we began to see during the Friday match and then, of course, going to the Saturday match is, they started coming together. They started communicating a little bit better. We still were faced with some of that inconsistency, that roller coaster I talk about, but, it didn't really affect us till kind of the end of some matches. For the most part, we were pretty consistent, and with the exception of 2 matches, we just couldn't close at the very end. Or I believe we could have probably beat them in 4. So.
What does it mean to have a road trip like this where you're playing 2 big conference opponents in their building and to walk out with 2 victories, whether it comes in 3 or 5?
Oh, it was huge. It was a huge confidence builder for the girls. It was a great kind of estimate of where the program's going. Lander and USC Aiken, they're not easy teams. They're consistent, and we really had to show up. It wasn't something that we just were going to be able to walk over and it was going to be simple. So I think it gave the girls some confidence. I think it shocked a couple conference teams. To be quite honest, when you're the newbie program, playing somebody that's been established for a while and you come in and beat them, no coach is happy with that. So in my perspective, that was a little bit nice to see that we were the first time program beating 2, longer established programs. So
it looked like the matches were kind of 2 different matches, though. You had one at USC Aiken where it wasn't all about your attacking and your kills. The kill number wasn't high, and then on Saturday it was completely different.
Yeah, the Friday match, that was crazy. We usually rely a lot on our outsides, and if you look at the numbers, they did not have great hitting percentages, at all. And it really came down to I think defense and just scrappiness. We were playing, out digging them a little bit. We had some blocks on them early on in the match, and it really came down to, I think, heart, and we kind of pulled it out on Aiken. So
how important is it to show your girls right now that, hey, we can win in different ways and we don't have to have Katie and Erica having huge days in order to win?
Oh, that was huge. They all knew. They all recognized it. We've been working really, really hard on defense. It's been a weakness of ours. And so the whole week leading up to those matches, that's what pretty much we did in practice every day was defense. And so the fact that they could see that, if we had just relied on KP and Erica, we would not have won that match. But it was really a team effort where everyone had to be involved for us to get that W.
Last time we talked, we were talking about losing Megan Charnett and trying to replace her. This weekend you went with Caitlin Merritt. Is that her spot now?
I like to say yes or no, but it can always change. You have no idea, especially with these ladies that like to keep me on my toes. But, Caitlin has done a fantastic job. And I think one thing that's really helped her kind of get into that spot is she's really unselfish. She plays really, really well with her teammates. She gives. She's not the loudest person. She's not the biggest court presence, which we have talked about, but she really works well with her teammates next to her. And in fact, her teammates have even come up to me and said, can you see how well we're all playing together? So they've even recognized it, which is kind of, put her into that spot. She's always been a hard worker. She's always been a good kid, but it was that thing that we needed. We needed her to be unselfish and really work well with those teammates.
Player that's really seemed like she stepped up in the last couple of weeks, Cheyenne Swinson, was struggling early on, wasn't putting up very big numbers, and over the last 6 or 7 games, those numbers have skyrocketed. What's changed?
Really nothing. I knew she was always going to be, a stud athlete. It was just, we talk about 2 things. She's got to get her elbow up high. she's a jumper. The kid can jump out of the gym, and we just had to kind of tweak a few things and make some adjustments, and she made those adjustments, and she's just done fantastic. Plus, she's just a kid with a really great attitude. So it was really not totally surprising that she was going to come on so strong. I just literally just been waiting for it to happen.
You're in a stretch right now of 6 of 7 games right here in this building. How important is it for you all to hold serve, no pun intended, on your home court after going on the road and winning?
Yeah, it's absolutely important for multiple reasons. Our confidence, making sure we're keeping that record up. And 2, we don't want to let the fans down. When, we're here home and, we want to put on a good show for them and show them that we're good and that we're going to play well for them as well. So
Francis Marion, UNC Pembroke this weekend, set us up for what's to come.
Sure. Francis Marion is they're a tough team. They've got a really good transfer that just came in and outside, and she's definitely a beast. We're going to have to kind of adjust our defense around her. They've struggled in the past years, but they put together a really good team this year. So it's another match just like Aiken and Lander. We're going to have to rise to the occasion and really play our best, which I'm not worried about. I feel like we're completely capable of beating this team. It's just, whether we decide to show up or not. Pembroke, they've come back a little bit stronger than they were last year. Last year, they literally had like 6 players, maybe 7, and they struggled last year. They've done a little bit better this year, but they're still another team that, you can't take anything for granted in this conference.
Coach, we're looking forward to the weekend. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Another week and 2 more wins for the Lady Cougar soccer program. Jay Entlich's bunch hosted Young Harris on Saturday here at the Walden Soccer Complex, and after being scoreless at halftime, 3 quick goals in the first 11 minutes of the second half by Taylor Marks, Nicole Corsione, and Chelsea Pearson put CSU in front 3-0. Young Harris got 2 quick goals back, narrowing the gap to 3-2, but the Lady Cougar defense hung on and picked up the 3-2 victory to remain perfect in Peach Belt Conference play. On Wednesday, they traveled to Americus to take on Georgia Southwestern, and the offense ramped it up a notch as they won 10-0 in a rout of the Hurricanes. Chelsea Pearson scored twice, including a goal 15 seconds into the match, marking the fastest goal in CSU program history and the 12th fastest goal in NCAA Division II history. Nicole Corsione also had 2 goals, and 5 other CSU players notched a goal of their own in the contest. Columbus State remains perfect now in Peach Belt Conference play at 5-0, 8-3 overall, and they're also up to number 10 in the latest poll. Earlier this week, we caught up with Lady Cougar head coach Jay Entlich. Lady Cougar head coach Jay Entlich with us as the Lady Cougars wrap up a perfect 2-0 week. Coach, Young Harris was in here on Saturday. It was scoreless in the first half, and then it just all of a sudden completely changed. 5 goals quickly. What changed after halftime?
Well, I think we just had a little bit different mentality going in the second half, and it was no longer good enough just to get shots on goal. So we wanted to be more efficient, and I told them to be a little bit more focused in front of the box, and I'll tell you, Young Harris was a good soccer team, defended really, really well, and didn't give us any sort of clean looks at goals. So we had to kind of create those, and the first goal came off of a 2-person corner, and kind of got a really good open look at goal, and it was almost like a tap in. But we had to work at it. Young Harris is a good soccer team, and we just had to kind of refocus ourselves at halftime and be better and just more efficient in the second half.
After you got ahead 3-0, they got 2 quick ones about 5 minutes after that. How much is that a teaching point for you moving forward?
Well, the nice thing with technology these days is we're able to video the game and go back and look at it. And we made several errors right from the kickoff. And so we're able to kind of sit our team down and really analyze and evaluate how we defend immediately after we score a goal. And so, what was great was we got to put that into play in our next game because we scored, quite a few goals. And that was a teaching point again, was, hey, don't let your guard down and make sure that we get to the right spots and we defend better immediately after we score.
That next game, Georgia Southwestern on Wednesday, 10-0, so an easy victory for you. What were you able to take away from that and talk to the girls about?
Well, again, it comes down to efficiency, and I keep talking to the girls about how important it is to, be more efficient in front of the goal and not necessarily just, get shots that are wild and errant and just kind of kick balls whenever we can, but to be better and a little bit more patient. And so again, yesterday was a great start with Chelsea scoring early, And kind of a funny story, the girls on the bench said, we should stop shooting because we're at 100%. And that's not the right mentality either. But we continue to battle, and there were a couple times where we took errant shots, and I had to have a go at the girls. But again, 10 shots and 33 chances, 10 goals. Sorry, pretty good efficiency.
You look at it, we came into this year, you had a whole lot of unknowns, which had a whole lot of new girls coming in here. There have been several freshmen that have big time stepped up for you this year. Let's talk about a couple of those. Nicole Corsione, a girl that's coming here, had all these accolades in high school, all these goals, and she's now 6 goals already, and they've all come in the last 6 games. How has she evolved over this year so far?
Well, I think it was just a matter of time. We knew how good she was, when we were recruiting her, and we know she was a powerful goal-scoring, player, and it's just nice to see her kind of get the monkey off her back and get that first goal. And but the hard part is we're expecting that kind of game after game now. And so, but we've been real pleased. She's the type of player that can kind of do things on her own. We still want her to get better in front of the goal, and actually we want her to get more assists as well, because she has the ability to get in behind defenses, and then when other players kind of close on her, that means other players are open, so we want her to find the open player and see if we can get some tap-ins as well.
Another one, Taylor Marks, has 3 goals in the last 4 games. She's been stepping up her play of late as well.
Taylor's been great for us. We knew, again, she was another highly recruited player. A lot of schools were after her, and we were fortunate enough to get her. But she's good with both feet. She can play a variety of positions. And she's the type of player that's been used to winning. She was at Whitewater High School. They won, I think, 3 or 4 state championships. So she kind of has that winning mentality. She's a tremendous student as well. Gosh, she's a 4.0 student in the honors program here at CSU. So she's not only terrific on the field, but off the field as well.
And then Mandy Janowitz, another one of that trio there that's really been on a scoring bend of late. She has 4 goals in the last 5 games. Where is she at right now?
Interesting. We knew Mandy could score goals, and we didn't feel like early on when she was here, she was kind of she wasn't one of the most fit players here, and she's kind of found herself a little bit. And I think anytime you score goals, it improves your confidence. And she's played really well lately, and we're getting her more and more minutes. And she's a kid again. The expectations have risen, so we expect so much from her now, and we just hope she can maintain her fitness base. And again, going forward, with her scoring all these goals lately, it gives us another individual for other teams to kind of look at.
You head now with a couple of days off before you head to St. Augustine for Flagler on Monday. What does that matchup on Monday look like for your girls?
Flagler's a super well-coached team. Teddy Meyer does a great job. They are very difficult to play against at home. They have a great facility, and again, sometimes in these long road trips with a young team, you just don't know what you're going to get from your team. So hopefully we can show up ready to play, and kind of build off of yesterday's victory. And but again, going down to St. Augustine is always difficult. Playing a kind of a midweek type game, even though it's on a Monday, our kids are still missing school. So it's going to be a tough game, and Flagler's fighting super hard to get results. So we expect a very, very good game with Flagler.
Coach, we appreciate the time as always. Best of luck on Monday.
Thank you.
Here's what the upcoming schedule looks like for CSU athletics. The Lady Cougar volleyball team takes the court Friday and Saturday inside the Lumpkin Center as they welcome in Francis Marion Friday night at 7, and then UNC Pembroke Saturday afternoon at 2. The men's and women's cross-country teams will run Saturday morning for the final time before the conference championship. The teams will be competing in the Falcon Classic in Montevallo, Alabama. Lady Cougar soccer hits the road Monday and heads to St. Augustine, Florida, where they look to remain perfect in conference play with a road date against conference foe Flagler. That match will begin at 2 o'clock. Finally, Rifle will host its first meet of the season as Tennessee Martin and North Georgia come to Columbus. That meet begins Sunday morning at 9 a.m. at the Army Marksmanship Unit on Fort Benning. That's your Cougar Insider for this week. Remember to check CSUCougars.com for your daily updates and connect with the Cougars on Facebook and Twitter. Until next week, I'm Stephen Williams.